Hello everybody, welcome back to Destiny. I thought I would recap an older video and expand on it quite a bit as regards to leveling, loot, equipment, skill trees, classes, races, all that kind of good stuff. Alright, now I've learned a little bit in playing over the last week or so and figured I'd pass along what I know to you guys and maybe it'll help somebody. So starting out this time, I'm going to experiment with the Warlock class, which is one I haven't played. I'm kind of partial to the Hunter, and I've tried the Titan, because it's got a really cool super move. But the Warlock is one I haven't played with, and there's this thing in Destiny called the Grimoire, right? And you unlock cards for the Grimoire as you discover things and come across things, whether it be collectibles in the environment, or playing as a certain character, or defeating a certain number of enemies. You learn the history, background, and things of that nature regarding those particular enemies or characteristics of your class or whatever the case may be. And it's a good way, I guess, to get the full picture of the story and the world that Destiny is made in. All right, kind of like Mass Effect or Dragon Age codexes maybe, or Resident Evil, the notes that are laying around, something of that nature. Okay, and they're also collectibles, and there are rewards for finding you know, a collection of certain things. There are these golden chests in the game. I do have a video on the golden chests if you want to check that out. And for getting all 5 of them, you get a new bike. You get this little personal ride, plus the loot you get from each one of the chests, for example. Anyway, here I'm going through the customization options. For anyone new to this, you know, anyone who's played the tutorial already, this will be old news. You know, you'll have done this yourself already. But for anyone new, I know the Xbox guys got access to the beta a little bit later. And so for anyone new to this, maybe there are some things in here that may be of some assistance to you as regards to leveling and getting through your menus and so on and so forth. Here, just for newcomers, I'm just going through the neat customization options that they have available for your character. I think this is really cool. For this Exo, this robotic guy here, you have everything from pinhead spikes, you know, like from Hellraiser, which I'm kind of partial to, and the face paint, which comes across really cool on the robotic face, because it's actually painted on. I think we even have, I don't know if I want to call it an Easter egg, but an N7 reference, maybe, here? Don't know, but thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, but I like this splotch here, and I think I'll go with that. Get a kind of a red theme going, the red glowing stuff, all right? And we'll get into it. Now, I will get into the leveling in the skill tree here shortly. I'm going to do a little gameplay, so this isn't just me blabbing my lips here, and give you all something to look at. Maybe we'll come across some things to mention and point out, maybe some locations of items. I have collected quite a few things here. Everything from, of course, the golden chests and, you know, some certain crafting materials that are available throughout the world, but also these things called dead ghosts. All right, we'll find out what a ghost is early in the game, like right at the beginning. This little ghost pops up and he basically revives you. And he kind of gives you an introduction to the game, then you go through the tutorial, which is what we're about to go through here. I won't include all of that, but this ghost is basically your little personal robot guy, and he speaks to you, and he gives you, in a sense, a radar, and your heads-up display, and, you know, directions and guidance, and so on and so forth, and he will hack things and link up to things for you, which you'll see later in the game. But anyway, you'll find dead ghosts laying around, and apparently they are from dead guardians. And as you collect those, you get history on the Warlocks and the Titans and the Hunters, the playable classes, and I guess the various races. And like I say, it's kind of like a codex. It's kind of like getting some of the lore and history of the game. It's a way to introduce it. In Skyrim or Oblivion, you'd run around reading books, you know, same type of thing, and get some basic idea on, you know, what the past held for the particular world that you're in, and why the world is the way it is now. Anyway, we'll get into some gunplay. Like I say, this is the tutorial section here. It's also a really, really amazing introduction to the graphics of this game. I mean, if you look, it's just as beautiful as it looks. All right, here, maybe even more so, you know. And this is just supposedly, this is what I read. I couldn't state that as a fact. I've never looked at the code myself, but this is being run at 900p, all right? And the final product will be at 1080p. And I believe it's a solid 30 frames per second, but I don't know if they're going to get that up to 60 or not. I'm not in the know on all that stuff, but I know this is somewhat a not quite as defined version as what the final product's going to be, and I don't see how they could improve on this. Looking at this, I was just oohed and awed. You know, I spent the whole first couple days messing with this, going, wow, oh my goodness, just running around looking through my scope at stuff, you know, just checking out the environment because the graphics are just that crazy good. But anyway, all right, now playing this class and playing this race, I should, just by leveling up this guy, unlock some Grimoire cards just for this particular class and race. You know, I'll have Exo cards and Warlock cards come up, and like I say, they're kind of a collectible, and you can go to the Bungie site where you can log in, and you can not only access forums where you can talk to other players and even join clans and all this other good stuff that they've arranged for the players, but you can look up your Grimoire score and find out what you've collected, maybe what you're missing, and maybe even get in the forums and talk to some of the other guys. Hey, where do I find this? You know, that type of thing. It's really, really cool community base that they've set up here just for the players to take advantage of if they so choose. I think that's really great. Coming through here, you notice you start out with a primary weapon here. You know, you come across a gun, all right, and it introduces you to basic gunplay. Then you will, we will here shortly unlock a skill where we can unlock our grenade, all right, and we will also come across a secondary weapon. Actually, I believe I've already got it, but in my case, it's a shotgun. It's not something I really am very say good with, you know, not very proficient with. So I'll stick with my assault rifle. I seem to be getting a pretty good amount of headshots here, so I'll run with this anyway. But if you were playing a hunter, you would start with a sniper rifle as your secondary weapon. The Titan and the Warlock apparently get the shotgun as their secondary, and then eventually, later on in the game, you will naturally come across either a rocket launcher or a machine gun, or what they call a heavy weapon. There's also another special or secondary weapon. It's called a fusion rifle, and it's somewhat of a pull the trigger to charge it and then release type thing. It's a timed charge weapon. It's pretty cool. It's a lot more powerful, but it takes a lot more control to use.
Just a little bit further. Let's hope there's
okay, so having gotten through there, just a basic idea of the gameplay, and like I say, just having fun or anything else, and an excuse to just sit here and talk your ear off about random stuff. We'll be leveling here pretty soon. You can see my level bar down at the bottom, and as you meet objectives and pass certain things, you will get level bonuses for finishing stages or finishing missions, right? And then you get the random XP for killing enemies. So this is very RPG as far as the leveling goes, not just in the XP and the way you gain it, but as we will see shortly, the leveling itself. There are some pretty intuitive skill trees. And then there are some subclasses which haven't been unlocked to us. Of course, they can't get us the whole package in the beta. They just want us to get a taste of what's to come. But you'll see subclasses, and we'll talk about that a little bit. There's one or two things that I'm not exactly sure how they're going to play out, so I won't say that, you know, it's this or that, but I can show you what I've learned so far in a way you can build your character. And as opposed to other maybe action games or shooters, there are definitely basically branches or trees which you can follow, which will define your character and develop a particular playstyle. I'm going to look up here real quick, okay? I will show you a place where there is a dead ghost residing. I'm not positive it was here in the tutorial, because when I found it, it wasn't in the tutorial. It was coming back here for a mission to this exact same area, but the ghost lays right here. Okay, so you see in this large cylinder here? Now, if it is available for you in the tutorial and you're following this, then you could get it right now. If not, you can come back to this area in a mission and just recognize, hey, this is where I started. Well, come out the door and go over there to that big cylinder, and there should be a dead ghost laying there. One of your collector's items. I will show you where a few more are at the tower, which is our base, which we will go to from here once we're done with this area. Okay, now I should be leveling up here any minute. My XP bar, I think if I step on a cockroach, I'm about to level, so we're getting real close. Then we'll take an extensive look at this skill tree and look at our menus and how to navigate, not just for your skills, but look at your character and your gear, your equipment and stuff, right? And also I want to get my grenade skill, which is an actual skill you acquire through leveling, all right? It's your first tree. Now, all the classes are pretty similar as far as this goes, okay? Your first tree is your grenade tree, all right? And then there's some upgrades or different versions of grenade as you go down. All right, and the second one is your jump skill. That's your ability to get a boost, and it's a second and sometimes even third jump. All right, your third tree is your special ability or your superpower, all right? Whatever, your ult, as you guys might call it in the MMO world. All right, and your fourth tier right there, or your third tier in that section, is your melee. All right, then we start getting into buffs for your character as regards your armor, your recovery rate, and your dexterity or your speed. Okay, your agility, as they call it here. All right, now that's basically your movement and your ability to get around faster. Your first one being your armor. That's your defense, the amount of damage you can take, obviously, before you really start getting hurt. And then your recovery is the speed at which you recover when your shield's down and you're at low health. Okay, and so how do you want to go? And you can, I don't know. This is where I was going to say. There's one thing I'm not sure about is when you unlock your second subclass. All right, this is your primary subclass that we're allowed to play with. But there's a secondary subclass, and when you unlock this, I'm not sure how they stack. If you keep the same selections, right, as the primary selections, and here you see we have an altered version of your super and an altered version of your melee, okay, in this subclass. And I guess it switches over and it allows you to define your character's style a little more. I guess you can keep the other one or go with this one if you want. And then those seem pretty much the same. And these right here appear to buff your super and your melee, okay? And this, you see, my armor goes up with one and my agility goes up with another, and it depends on whether you want to be fast or strong or recover quickly or a little combination of a little of each, okay? Now over here, you see my armor has no special stats on it, but if it did, the stats would be one of these three things, okay? You have intellect, and you have discipline, and you have strength, okay? Now, your armor will have a plus factor for any one of those three things. Okay, now strength deals with your melee regen, not how hard you hit, but how quickly you get your charged melee back, which is almost like a special ability. Okay, your discipline is how quickly your grenade recharges, because you don't have a set number of grenades. Your grenade has a cooldown. All right, it's like an ability, like say in Borderlands or something. Okay, now your intellect dictates how quickly your super recharges. Okay, and your super tree would be this one right here. This third tier, or the second tier in that section, anyway. Okay? And that's what those three things, all right? And your armor buffs those, okay? For example, if you had, say, plus intellect on every single piece of armor, then you could really, really recharge your superpower quickly. Okay, here you have emblems and a spot for ships, and you even have a spot for shaders. It's like a die for your equipment, all right? Then here you have materials, consumables, things like that. Consumables are things that you can actually use to buff the enemy drop rate for loot, stuff like that. And then you have mission items and things of that nature. And then even crafting items that you trade to merchants to get better gear or to get a reward of some kind. And then here you can set all your controls, from your look sensitivity to whatever. The shooter part of it at heart is still, Call of Duty Halo, so you have the ability to customize that. All right, in this menu, any players that are available in the world you're in online that are playing with you or around you will be in that list. Say if you're home at the base and you see a bunch of players milling around, you can look down that list, see if you find a friend or someone you'd want to talk to, then go seek them out and go hit them up and start a chat and maybe get them in your fire team and go do some missions together or something. Or go do some PvP. All right? And that's pretty much how the skill system works there. That's your primary subclass and your secondary subclass. Now, like I say, they haven't unlocked the secondary, so I haven't gotten to play with that and see how the agility, armor, and recovery buffs stack. Or do they stack, or do they replace one another? Do you choose one or the other, or can you choose some combination of the three? I don't know. I'm not positive about that. Get rid of these guys, and then this is essentially the end of the tutorial. That that captain guy, okay, he's kind of our first taste of a quote-unquote boss. He's not really even a mini-boss. He's just, tougher than the rest of these guys. Kind of give you an example of how they set up the end of missions, right? There he is. Yeah, now he's about to charge me. His melee is actually pretty stout, believe it or not, even at this level. All right, get him out of the way. Headshots work wonders, like in any shooter game. And then we will head back to the base. And once we get there, I'll show you the location of a couple of the dead ghosts. There are 3 there. One of them is locked to me right now, but it is available if the, what is it? The iron... Oh, the iron something. It's it's a form of PvP that's kind of a little upgraded from the regular PvP, in that you get all of your weapon buffs and stuff. Whereas the first PvP selection you get, if you've been in that menu to look at, you know, when you're going on your next mission, if you decide to go do player versus player, or the Crucible, what you call the Crucible, you have you know, your first PvP option, and everything's pretty much balanced. They kind of nerf your weapons and guns and stuff, and everybody's more or less on a more even playing field. Although some characters have more perks unlocked in their skill trees than other guys who have been, you know, farming and raising their character specifically for PvP, you might find that they will give you kind of a hard time when you go in. All right, and the second tier of PvP, which is unlocked for a couple hours here and a couple hours there, since we've been in the beta, it's the Iron something or another. All right, and you can reach it by going into the center of the tower area. It's in the back center. All right, you'll see the doors here, but they're closed off for me at the moment. But there is a ghost at the far back railing in the far back. I can't show you exactly where it was. All right, if you look straight back from where I am right now, underneath that tall tower, there is a kind of an archway door there. And right now it's covered by curtains, but when that's open, you can go through there and get to the iron whatever it's called. I can't believe it's slipping my mind right now. All right, but right now I'm going to go report to my Vanguard. All right. Now she, beg your pardon. She has a piece of gear for me, and you see I can buy symbols here, which are like emblems. Okay, that go next to your name, and there's also gear, but I can't reach level 20 to buy anything from her. But this requires Vanguard rank, which is gained by gaining Vanguard points, which are gotten by doing these missions in the free explore areas. Okay. And you can gain Vanguard points for doing missions. They're similar to bounties, but basically you run around the map and you just collect them and do them as you are. Kind of like Borderlands missions, where they're just available. You go grab one and then you go off and kill something and come back, type of thing. All right. Now here's the Crucible guy. It's not open to me yet, but he would have since make that option available. As soon as I get into outer space, I could choose to go there. Of course, I wouldn't at level 1 or 2. I'd be destroyed. Go 0 and 50. Okay, now here's the Crucible Quartermaster. You need Crucible rankings, all right? Crucible points are gained by, of course, doing good in PvP matches and winning PvP matches. And you can buy gear and ships and whatever, who knows, emblems from him and different stuff like that. You can also trade him crafting materials, a thing called spin metal and some other crafting materials which I haven't seen in the world yet, but according to the merchants, they will be available. Anyway, so he gives me a piece of armor, and this is the tutorial, in a sense, on how to change your armor, okay? We've already looked at the equipment, but I switched that out, and then it makes this next thing available, and this guy's going to give me a free gun, which is always good. And then, of course, my duty there is, once I've picked my weapon, decide what I'm going to run with and play around with. There'll be many more weapons dropped for me, you know, as I go through my missions, so I'll be able to change that out when I want to. But for right now, it wants to show me how to change my weapon, right? So I do that. I can break down my old one just holding the square button. On PlayStation anyway, it's square. I believe on Xbox it would be the circle, if I remember right. Right? Then I come down here. Now this is the Engram Merchant, and what engrams are is they are basically blueprints that you will get from boss drops and things like that, random drops while you're out adventuring, and you bring them to him and he will decode them for you, and they will give you a certain item. No particular item. It's going to be kind of random. Now over here, this is your rep with him. You can actually level this guy up by having him decode stuff and buying stuff from him. And once that gauge reaches full, then you get the first rank with him, and the quality of the stuff that he sells will go up. All right, so if you want to get higher level gear, then you basically gotta farm that guy. You gotta sell him a lot of things. Okay, now we're coming down into this section. My next mission is to go get my ship, my jump ship that's able to go from planet to planet instead of just from city to city. That old piece of crap I just got from the tutorial isn't going to take me anywhere, so I need to get something new. And she gives you one. All right, and there's no particular points required for this. It's just a level requirement, but you can buy new sparrows, which are your personal ride, which you would see later in the game. And you can buy new jump ships, so you can style. Because during the loading screens, when you're going to and from places, you see everybody's ship, so you can show off your new ship. All right, and you come up here. Now this person, what's it called? Future War Cult, okay? If you do bounties, all right, bounties become available in the beta at least when you're level 6. And there's a guy standing basically in the middle of the tower that gives them to you. You'll see an exclamation point over his head. And if you do bounties with a particular class item, which in the case of the Warlock would be the robe. On a Titan, it would be the sash on your hip. And a Hunter, it would be your hood and your cape. With their logo on it, then it counts as rep with them, and they will sell you higher tiered gear the more rep you gain with them. So it's almost like a guild type deal. You know, the more you do for them in their name, then the higher the rewards they'll eventually give you. Better gear available, and who knows what else they'll work into that. Okay. Now over here on the other side, I will show you where there is a dead ghost. I've already found them, so I can't show you the ghost itself, but I can show you exactly where it's at. Okay, you see these crates here. The ghost will be sitting, the ghost will be sitting on this top one right here where I'm standing. All right, and like I said, there was that other one straight through the back in that tower. If that door is open, you got to catch the iron events being available. All right, and you come over here, and we have this really cool area where the speaker is the guy who speaks for the visitor, and you'll get all that in the story, okay? But right around here, there's a person that sells shaders, okay? And what shaders are, they're a dye, and you can color your armor. Now, you have to be a certain level. This lady also sells emblems that you can have next to your name, okay? And notice her, what is it, level 20, okay? That would be the minimum level to where you can get in there, but different colors become available, and after a certain amount of time, kind of like the vending machines in Borderlands, they will restock, and you'll have new stuff available to go shop for. All right, get over here. Now there is one last dead ghost that I know about. I only know of 3 in the tower area. Okay, but the third one will be right up here, sitting on, I guess, the stool or the shelf, whatever you want to call it. Okay, right over there, and you'll kind of hear it humming if you have your headset on. Right, and that's it. And that's just a good idea of how to get through the menus and how to level. All right. How to go through stuff and give you a kind of a basic heads up on how to get in gear, starting your character. If this helped you, remember to subscribe and share with your friends, please. Like the video and all that good stuff. It really supports the channel, you know. And comment below. The more activity here, the more popular this video can be. And bring attention here, and we'll come out with more good stuff. All right? So take a good look at the visitor and say goodbye, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. For more Destiny, click the top box, and for a complete list of all my videos, click the bottom box. And if you want to subscribe to my channel and support it, and hit that subscribe button, just mash the crap out of it right there over my head. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.